All I'm trying to do is make my home easier to live in. I'm certainly not making things look pretty or even trying to make a perfect setup. It's just about making every area of my life simpler, just like me really. It's the real basic rules across all areas of my home, my garden, and even my camper. Everything has a place and everything in its place. I had my tools and various items of hardware in a couple of crates in the laundry, and it worked pretty well, but it just wasn't ideal. Often things would get mixed together as I rummaged around in the crate to find what I was actually after. I ended up saying, she'll be right mate, or I'll fix it later when I got more time, of which I never did. I needed something that felt natural and easy, something that would be easy to do and maintain. Whenever I reorganize things, I like to lay everything out so I can actually see what I have, picture how I want things to be grouped, as well as figure out how much space they're actually taking up. I've moved things around in the new Toolbox a lot, until I felt that things I used the most were in the right home for me to grab them when I needed them, but most importantly, that it was easy to put them away afterwards. It's not perfect, and I'll probably need to get an extra module before it is ideal, but it's a lot better than it was. For me, drawers are such an important thing to store things in. They help me separate small items from bulkier items. The deeper bottom toolbox gives me room for the big tools, which works better for those big bulky things than it does for a lot of little things. Everything needs to be laid out so I can find things at a glance and put things back without it becoming a chore. These few changes will make it a lot easier in the future when I can easily put things away after any project I do. For me, the kitchen is the most important part of the house, as we use it several times a day, whether it's to make a meal, create a snack, or maybe just get ourselves a drink. I find if it doesn't work well, you end up with a mess. So to make it work for me, I want things grouped in a way that matches how I actually use them in the kitchen. I find it important to keep everyday stuff easy to reach. Keeping like things together, like my spices all together and my beans all in one spot. This means it's easy to grab everything I need when I'm cooking a dish, and just as easy, if not easier, to return everything together in one go, back to where it belongs. All my utensils are grouped by function instead of just throwing them wherever they fit. Cutlery and measuring spoons and knives are the most often used things in my kitchen, so they're right at the top. Then cooking utensils under that, just as easy to get to. Then the food wrapping stuff, cleaning cloths and tea towels, as I need to get them less. The drawers don't need to be fancy, just a small divider to keep things easily accessible and easy to put things away when you're done. For my pantry setup, I create zones for my foods. My beans and meal making stuff like pasta and rice are together on one shelf. If I am making burritos or the like, I grab my beans tray and I'm ready to cook. The same with my spices. I need to make a new spice mix or top up one of my spices, then out comes my herb tray. When finished, everything's back in and away, as easy as that. The same with the baking shelf, the drinks and snack shelf, each with an easy access tray. Extra food and bulk food sit at the very bottom. It's not all perfect, and the first aid and paper shelf needs to be finished, but that's a later job. My appliance shelf can become a bit of a catch-all pretty quickly, and a good source of hide and seek, with things getting pushed to the back. Now, where did I put that attachment for my blender? The best thing I did was crates. That keeps everything together which belongs together. Like my blender or food processor, or my baking things. My cups and plates all stay together, but my bowls are not stack friendly, which does frustrate me. The bottom shelf trays makes getting things from the bottom a little bit easier. So my simple rules that I use when organising things include: if I use it a lot, keep it handy. If I use things regularly together, keep them together and preferably in the same container. If I don't put things away each time, then there's a problem with my system. Everything has a place and everything is in its place. Drawers or containers help stop you losing things at the back of cupboards. It's not about an Instagram system, it's about an easy to maintain system. Some spaces, I'm sure, I will keep changing as my needs change. I will only realise what works after living with it for a while. A setup can look pretty and still not be very practical. Have a system that is adaptable and you can change as you feel the need. Sometimes a change is as good as a holiday, even around your house. I find it really funny how one small change can lead to another. Even replacing one container results in using that container somewhere else. My toolbox and my kitchen have different jobs, different purposes, but the same principles exist for both. My home feels easier when things have a proper place and I put them away in that place. It isn't a perfect system, no, but it's constantly getting better.